What if Jalen Milroe is a perfect fit in Kalen DeBoer's offense? And this is one that we saw in the mentions, and we just started rubbing our hands together. So, oh boy, let's get after it. Because we have, I'll kind of reset this whole conversation. When Kalen DeBoer got hired at Alabama, my first thought was, oh boy, okay. Well, you do know Jalen Milroe is your quarterback, right? And I love me some Jalen Milroe, but like stylistically, those two things shouldn't really go together. Like Michael Penix Jr., Jalen Milroe, both great quarterbacks, both very different quarterbacks in their style of play. And so I started out being a little bit skeptical about Kalen DeBoer and how that would fit together offensively with Jalen Milroe. But as we've gotten further and further into this offseason, I've been able to kind of do a little bit more digging and kind of see the light. Went to Tuscaloosa, like I've talked myself into the take that I believe Jalen Milroe is going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, Heisman Trophy finalist when it comes to where things stand when that award is given out. So the concern for a lot of people around this situation is one that I echoed at the beginning. Kalen DeBoer, pass-friendly offense. Previous stops have been averaging right around 40 attempts a game. Jalen Milroe, not really his bag, okay? Not a bad passer, but the big thing is he hasn't been a consistent passer. Well, the good news is Jalen Milroe's issue, quote-unquote, inconsistency, I think can be met by one of Kalen DeBoer's strengths in terms of how they scheme up the offense and create consistent opportunities for Jalen Milroe to throw the football to. What I mean by that is, to put it simply, he gets dudes open, does Kalen DeBoer, with his scheme. Whether it's shifts, whether it's motions, whether it's different things he sees during the week, you go ahead and turn back the tape and watch what they did at Washington. Yes, they had some dudes to throw the football to. Do not hear me incorrectly. They had guys that are going to make a lot of money here in the NFL in a very short period of time. But a lot of those cats were schemed open by Kalen DeBoer's system. Yes, Ryan Grubb was the OC. It's Kalen DeBoer's offense. It's going to be Kalen DeBoer's offense at Alabama. And so when you create guys open, when you scheme guys open, if you're Kalen DeBoer, that creates a higher percentage of potential for Jalen Milroe to deliver the football, right? So when you have a higher percentage of throws that you can hit, what does that mean for Jalen Milroe? It means he's able to get in a rhythm. How many times, like realistically, did we see Jalen Milroe in rhythm last year? The LSU game, maybe. I was at the Georgia game. He made some great throws. Was he consistently in rhythm? I don't know if I would say that. He looked great. I'm not taking anything away from him. He went out and balled the heck out and allowed them to win that football game. Were they in rhythm, though? I don't know. And to me, Jalen Milroe being in rhythm consistently creates more confidence. And you give me a confident Jalen Milroe throwing the football, play in and play out, where he's consistent, like that is going to be dangerous. That's going to be dangerous. So the main point I'm trying to make here is, whatever reservations you have about Jalen Milroe as a passer, I understand, but I think Kalen DeBoer is exactly what the doctor ordered to improve his consistency as a passer. It also should be noted, as much as people are running with the narrative of what he is or isn't as a thrower of the football, look at the numbers. He wasn't bad. Top 15 QBR, 23 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, throwing the football, not even counting what he did on the ground. This offense is going to accentuate, it's worth noting as well, what Jalen Milroe does really well throwing the football, which is the deep ball. Like, people talk about Jalen Milroe, they don't have any issues with what he does bombing it deep. I mean, PFF has him as the top-graded deep ball thrower on 20-plus yard throws of returning quarterbacks in college football. Michael Penix Jr., his average depth of target last year at Washington was 11 yards. Translation, they're going to push the ball deep. Jalen Milroe pushes the ball deep well already. He's going to be a better passer. I'm just telling you right now. And so as much as we talk about, Jalen Milroe never having a coordinator like Kalen DeBoer or playing an offensive scheme like Kalen DeBoer, keep in mind now, too, Kalen DeBoer has never had a weapon at quarterback like Jalen Milroe. Do not hear me incorrectly. And I think there was also this thought of and again, I had this hand up. I had this exact same thought early on. Hey, how's it going to fit? How's it going to look? Do they work well together? I don't know, because he's a different player than Michael Penix Jr. Here's the deal. Chefs in Italy, they do pizza. All right, producers in Hollywood, directors in Hollywood, they do movies. Kalen DeBoer, he does offense. That is his calling card. That is who he is. That is what he does. And so you're telling me we're going to give him extra ingredients that, sure, maybe he's less familiar with. He's still going to cook. Like, Kalen DeBoer doesn't get this massively talented piece at quarterback that is Jalen Milroe and say, man, I don't know what to do with this. How do I make this work? No. He sees opportunity. He sees scheme. He sees fit. He sees ways to utilize him. And the way that they are going to, I think, put defenses in a bind with what he does running the football, it's going to be poetry in motion. I'll just say it's going to be poetry in motion. It's going to be magic, okay? Because the way that they spread the defense out, again, whether it be alignment, whether it be shifts, it is going to put the defense in a bind in the sense that they will have to cover the entire width of the field. So you will have more individual players on defense having to account for more space than they are typically asked to account for. So what that means is, yes, throwing the football, it'll help Jalen Milroe. When it comes to him running the football, you're going to be met a lot more often with Jalen Milroe one-on-one in space, which I'm just telling you right now, that favors Jalen Milroe every single time. Also, the angle you have to take on Jalen Milroe is going to be a difficult one, consistently, and he's going to make you pay for that. So the impact of this, to answer the what if Jalen Milroe is a perfect fit in Kalen DeBoer's offense, in short, the defense will get a chance to kind of gel. Because you open with Western Kentucky, you got USF, you're at Wisconsin, a little bit sneaky. You got a bye, and then you got Georgia. And so they're going to score more than enough, I believe, in those first three. Again, Wisconsin's going to be a tough defense. It'll be on the road, but I think they're cut out for it as we sit here in June. Even with that being the case, you're going to give your defense, I think, a little bit of a chance to get their legs underneath them because they have a lot of new players going to have to step up in a big way, kind of break in a new scheme there. They give them a chance to kind of acclimate, at the very least. Now, the long game here for Alabama, the macro impact is as much as this defense allows is how much the offense will impact Alabama's season. And I hate to go back to USC, but like we saw so frequently, and I'm not assuming that Alabama's defense will be on par with USC, don't hear me incorrectly, but oftentimes the greatest player in college football for the better part of the last 2 years was Caleb Williams. And USC had the issue where they had to score 40 for them to have a chance to win the football game. Now, again, I'm not telling you Alabama is going to allow 35 a game. That's crazy talk. But I am saying USC struggled in the sense of Caleb Williams was always their equalizer. He wasn't their edge. And so for Jalen Milroe, new defensive structure, a lot of new young bucks to have to play at a big level on a big stage for Alabama. Can you equip Jalen Milroe to be your edge and not just the guy that helps you keep pace game in and game out? There'll be a lot of games where you have to keep pace. But if that Bama defense arrives and they look Bama-ish, I'm not saying they look dominant, they look Bama-ish, I think you see Alabama probably win 10-plus football games in the college football playoff, maybe in the SEC title game. If Jalen Milroe really pops, maybe you're the SEC champs, yet again, Kalen DeBoer's first year. And what that would do now, stabilizes optics. That's the dangerous thing about Alabama right now. They have vulnerable optics for the first time in, 15-plus years? Because Nick Saban's not there. Everyone wants to know, well, what's Kalen DeBoer going to be? What's Bama going to be under Kalen DeBoer? Who knows? I don't know. You know, I don't know. Recruits don't know. That's the thing now. If they win at a high level, oh, it's Bama. Oh, I recognize that script day being in the college football playoff bracket. I've seen that pretty much my whole freaking life. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm good with Alabama. I'm not concerned anymore with this new head coach. So we took a lot from a little there, but Jalen Milroe, I think it's going to be straight magic out there at Alabama with him running the show. Calling our shot here as we sit here in June, I think he will be a Heisman Trophy finalist. If the defense can hold up their end of the bargain, Alabama could be dangerous. And this year, of course, but I mean in the future now, the ripple effect for optics on the recruiting trail would be massive. Absolutely massive. Hey y'all, thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.